Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome if you're currently here in the live chat. Today we're going to be taking a look a little closer at Brenner's personal possessions, or what he once was in possession of, and that's to do with the horse box or the horse shed, the shed full of horse related items and other bits and bobs which Brenner owned. I don't know if anyone's really analysed it up close, but that's what we'll do today, just to see if there was anything of interest within. Sure, if there was anything groundbreaking, most likely it would have been taken away back at the start, but you never know. If something's been overlooked, brushed aside, we've done it with the dirt mound, we do it again here with this other spot. And we're going to be using Dylan's footage for this one, a little clip. So credit to Dylan. Wanted to tie it all together in a way, because we've done the focus point on actual footage, ground footage of the dirt mound. We've done ground footage up close of the backhoe, looking at that. Also done it with the grain shed, done it with that burning barrel, and now it's time to do with Brenner's trailer area and more so the box. So there's that to do. If there's time afterwards, we'll probably go on that forum page, continue on from there, almost at the end. But yeah, as for coverage of the Dylan Rounds case, unless there is breaking news or there is a new development or another twist around the corner, let's say, this could be one of the last videos on the Dylan Rounds case up until something else comes about, right? Because I've got through those forum pages, done the background stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because it's been one of those things where for the past few months, there's been a fair silence in between, but there's still been probably more videos to cover more than ever now than months before that, so that's a good thing. But the times where it was a little quiet, it was more so just literally keeping the case alive and keeping the talking discussion points up there. But there's only so much you can do. So, you know, I've already answered some questions, but I can do it again, where just basically, because there's unfinished business with Kenny Veach and there's some videos there, then I can do that. But, you know, is it going to be one of those things within the Dylan Rounds case where I'm almost finished with it and then something happens the next day and it's like, oh, looks like I've got to cover this now, looks like I've got to keep on? Well, time will tell, of course. What I would say though is that little twist I'd say had come in, and I did predict. So I think the bit about Brenner or something saying he would reveal location of Dylan Rounds, although that could be a surprise to some people at the time, I didn't see that as my prediction for a twist within the case. My prediction, I would say, has come true in recent time when I look back, more so to do with the reward money being withdrawn. Not something you would expect, right? You thought it would remain up there. Though it hasn't. Some people have said they've been surprised, thought it's probably a risky manoeuvre. So that's like a twist in the case. So that's what I'd say is my prediction. Also, take in mind, just kind of off subject, as we do go along, feel free to share your thoughts, opinions, and everything else in the live chat as we do go along in this video. And also, if you haven't already, make sure to check out the previous video I did of Dylan Rounds case discussions and stuff like that, just to keep up to date with things and know where things are. We looked at a previous new article which came out. Want the best, but you know, you'll get that idea when you read it yourself, right? Also, speaking of reading, probably need to just briefly check the comments of the last video I did, just a couple. There was another comment, but it wasn't on the last video, it must have been on a previous one, and it was kind of contradictory. Can't remember who it was now, but they basically left a comment saying, "Where's your proof, Raf? You know, how do you know that the police came close to finding Dylan Rounds' first burial zone?" And the reason why it was so contradictory is they're asking me proof of why that's the case or why that's the possibility. And yet they left another comment, a separate one, in the same video, same comment section, saying, "I think Dylan Rounds was moved about more than once, probably several times." So you're kind of questioning me about the desecration part, but you yourself believe that desecration has taken place multiple times. What? And you know, when you think back, and it might have been the way I worded the comment, I don't know if it was them who worded the comment, Candice Cooley and Justin believe this, but it's a different story in my opinion. I can't remember, to be honest. But to try and summarise it, right? For the LE or for the parents, whoever, both at the same time or separately, for them to come out and say that, you know, Dylan has not been found, desecration has taken place, and you look at the definition of desecration, right? And you look into just and if you're applying it to this person that made a contradictory comment about them believing that Dylan's been moved multiple times, if you believe Dylan Rounds has been moved multiple times, then there must be some proof or evidence somewhere to prove that he has been moved around several times. And if there's proof, then there'll be knowledge of that and understanding by the police or by the parents. And because my original comment was, oh, police came close to finding Dylan Rounds' first burial site, but they didn't find Dylan because he's been clearly moved, then for that person to counter me and say, how do you know? Where's your proof? And then they say, oh, but I think Dylan Rounds has been moved multiple times. Well, to know that Dylan Rounds has been moved multiple times, you need to be able to know that spots where Dylan was at one point, which would mean investigating, digging it up, getting soil samples, and then, you know, sending it to the labs and getting DNA results back to prove that Dylan was once here. So then they would know Dylan was once here. So your comment about it not being the case, but it is the case, but it's not the case, but it is the case in your opinion, is just a fucking disaster. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's going on? Absolute disaster. Wow. Disaster, right? So that aside, another prediction. Another prediction came true again, though I don't know if it was because Indiana was being sarcastic. I couldn't tell because it was in text-based format and there wasn't any emojis used or explanation marks, so it seemed like a neutral point. But last video, or the video before that, it would have probably been the video before that 2 days ago, or whenever I last did it, Indiana pointed out about salty pancakes or something, saying, oh, it's good, he's finally moving forwards. He's put all the Jim Terry drama in the back and moving forwards. And then I left a response to her comment in the live chat saying, until the next time, for now. And then what happened yesterday? Pancakes did a live stream titled Watching Jim Terry's Downfall or something. Well, that didn't take long, did it? So, predicted that. It's just an ongoing thing. I mean, just to acknowledge, highlight once again, a lot of these names, a lot of these characters that have shown up have only shown up because of the Dylan Rounds case, right? Okay, some might have had accounts way back in the past, but did they have any content on their channels? No, right? So because of the Dylan Rounds case. The only reason why I know of Jim Terry, No Thanks, Pancakes, Bella V, Stoney, Girl Ryan, and anyone else in between, etc., etc. The only reason why I know of them is because of the Dylan Rounds case. If it was any other time, I would have been like, who are you? What are you? Like that. I mean, there is other times, other situations where people have left comments complaining, and although you can't do it literally, I still do it anyway. As soon as I see their comment, I like look up. I'm inverted, that's great. I look up, I look down, but I think, no, actually, I'm sure I look down, then look up. It don't really matter at the end of the day because I couldn't give a fuck about them. But yeah, and it's like, what are you? Why are you here? Just shoot, okay? It's almost like a play or something. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's just put that aside, okay? Welcome if you are here, of course. What we're going to do first of all is take a look at the past comment section. Won't be that long, I'm sure. And then we'll go on to that footage and take a look up close of Brenner's property, Brenner's shed, the horse shed, and see if anything's dodgy in there, okay? So I'm just going to adjust it to the newest comments, and we just look from the bottom. Robert popping up once again saying, if you need clickbait for your map, Wells and Ely and Elko have active bordellos. What's bordello? bottle of wine? I'm not sure. If you need clickbait for your map, well, first of all, it's not my map. I don't own Google Earth or Google Earth Pro, okay, or Google Maps. And as for the clickbait part, no, I'm fine, I'm okay. I know other channels rely on that, but yeah, there you go. Though, to acknowledge, there have been times where people in the past have accused my videos or my titles of clickbait just simply because they fail to grasp and understand language and wording. Whether a quote is used, an exclamation mark, or a question mark, which is one of the most important pieces used in a title at times, though humans do not learn. Anyway, Johnny Ripple. There was the Shady Lady on the way to Vegas as well. That's one closed down now. Now, when I saw that, I thought Johnny was talking about the Shack Lady, Shady Shack Lady. Johnny said, no, not referring to her. There used to be a brothel in Nevada called the Shady Lady. Okay. Quick question. What does that have to do with the Dylan Rounds case? Is it because someone may have visited it at some point in the past? I don't know. But you're talking about a brothel. Once they're closed down now. You know, poor Joseph. He's never going to get that experience, is he? Not in Vegas, but yeah. Anyway. What's this one? Louise Haraway. What's this? Do you think Candice and Justin are right to not try for a deal with Brenner to get him to say where Dylan's body is? They say they will find him, but it's been 10 months now and nothing. Smooth fishing. If it was me, I'd say I'd take the death penalty off the table so I could get my son home and I could give him a proper burial as soon as possible. Like you said, it's been 10 months and that they haven't found him yet. More than likely, the judge don't give him death penalty anyway. Right, so I can respond to this, right? Now, I don't know when they first came to that conclusion that desecration has taken place, right? And I was talking in a previous video about if they found Dylan's first burial site, which Dylan is obviously no longer there because of desecration. If that occurred way back at the start, then, like you say, 10 months on, nothing else has been found. Why would the family suddenly be confident that they can find Dylan? That's true. I agree with that. But if it happened at a later time, fast forward on, maybe if it was like a couple of months ago, they found out about desecration, or let's say it was back in 2022, but late 2022, November, December time, or just a little bit before that. And the only reason why nothing else has been found since is simply because of the weather, which has delayed everything. You get what I'm saying? So that's my concept. That's my idea, that it all comes down to when the desecration part, the finding of that took place. Way back at the start, then I don't see why the family should be confident now all of a sudden. Though, if it was found later on and more relevant to now, then I can understand why they're confident, right? The only other alt idea would be maybe the police found the desecration or accounted for the desecration way back at the start, but did not tell the family until much later on. And when the family heard of it, they felt hopeful, thinking, oh, wow. So, you know, technically we found Dylan if Brenner never had the chance to remove Dylan. So maybe we can strike lucky a second time round. But maybe it's a little bit delusional to think like that when there's such a big space and a big gap in time. So really, the only deciding factor which takes into place, which would acknowledge to why the parents are confident, is the winter, the snow, the ice, you know, with the amount of time it's gone on for, delaying any other possible searches of possibly finding Dylan's actual spot. That's the main factor I take in mind. Okay. So anyone else? So do I think Candice and Justin should make a deal with Brenner? I think it probably would be quicker and effective, right? But it is one of those things probably where, because of the weather at this moment in time, Brenner could reveal the location, but it's not like you probably can just go right out there right now if there's still thick snow and ice. Trying to track down that one spot could be a little bit more awkward. Trying to dig the ground could be difficult. You know, you don't want to damage the remains, right? You want to try and do it with, like, delicately. So even there's a chance that even if you did get given the location, you'd still have to sit back and wait. I think all I'd say is I think it's risky. That's what I'd say. I think it's risky. Pack and Go missed it today. Shame. Cleo, yes. Wet water blessings. And Glenn catching back up. That's good of him. So yeah, there you go. That's the comments complete. As said, it was going to be quick, those comments, and this time it literally was, right? It's either one extreme or the other, very long or very short, but there you go, it is what it is. What I'm going to do now is actually play to you the footage, first of all, of the grain shed property by Glorindellen, looking at the location of Brenner's trailer where it was situated, as well as looking inside of that like shed, the little horse shed. And then once the clip has finished, just go on over to a still screenshot and then just take a look at what we see in sight, okay? And see if anything of interest shows up, anything that might have been missed over time. And of course, if you see anything yourself, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And, you know, if you want, feel free to leave a timestamp as well of this video to where you see whatever, okay? Let's head on over to the video first.
This has to be Jim's.
Be Jim's?
Has to be Jim's.
Okay. Let's take a look inside.
Saddle. And his horse that he had.
Uh-huh.
We have confirmation.
Okay.
21 years old.
Oh, really? All right, let's check out where the trailer was.
Jeffy Joe. This is where Jim's camper was.
Right here? Not
here.
over there?
Nope, not
Okay.
over there. Right here.
Right here.
You can see the tire tracks on the wood.
Oh, okay.
This is actually where his sat.
So right here.
So you saw that footage. It's now time to slow things down. And I guess there's been some additional items of interest which have popped out in the video footage as well. What I want to say in advance, if you're watching right now or joining on in, if you want to pass the message down to viewers that may pop in later or so, I am going to share with you some photos inside of the grain shed from a different angle, okay? It might put into perspective regarding what Justin said about Dylan backing into a gate or something, which aggravated Brenner and may have caused him to snap, taking it out on Dylan, and that resulted in Dylan's death, right? We'll be taking a look at those photos as well. I want to share with you a closer up image of that back end bookshelf at the bottom of the grain shed inside of an item that was once there and then later on no longer and disappeared. So we're going to take a look at that up close as well. It might reveal something of interest, right? So make sure to stick around to the end of this. On screen right now, the shot what we have, I don't know who that guy is, the one in the blue shirt. I've never found out, no one's ever mentioned his name. But that, what do you call it, cardboard, hardboard, wood, something like that. On the right hand side of the screen is the shed. You see the door open, and that's, I guess, Brenner's personal possessions and items he stores in there, okay? The one item that does stand out already, and we focus on it here more so, is that bicycle on the ground. Now, I believe it was Linda that pointed it out in a previous video or so, saying, oh, I saw that, did you? And I was like, wait, what bicycle? As you can see on screen, there you go. Now, whose bicycle is it? That's the ultimate question, right? It opens up possibilities, right? Is it Brenner's bicycle? I'll be honest with you, I can't imagine it. Because when I look at it, I don't know if it could withstand Brenner's weight. In terms of the conditions of the bike, it's in pretty good condition. The tyres look great for most part of it. It doesn't look broken. The seat as well is still present. So where did this come from? Who does it belong to? Is it one of the individuals there at the time recording all this footage? Not Glorindalen, but maybe someone else who's present there. Because there was a couple of guys and, women. So let me know your thoughts. Or could it be Dylan Round's bicycle? Let's do a poll right now to get some discussion going. Whose bicycle do you think this is? Brenner's, Dylan's, or one of the visitors? Make sure to vote right now. If it was Dylan Round's bicycle, this opens up the whole new aspect of maybe Dylan wasn't known for walking back to his farm. Instead, he used his bicycle. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. I can't imagine it being Brenner's because Brenner doesn't seem like the type of guy to be on a bicycle. Just like Don Haley. If they're going to be on a bike, they're going to be on a motorbike, some kind of Harley Davidson, right? Full on. Not a little pedal bike. No. But that is interesting, that. And just the fact that it's in decent condition does make me think, is it recent? It's just been left there. So I'd just like to know. And it does stand out, right? When you look at everything else and then that's just plonked there. Could it have been used on the 28th of May 2022? I have no clue. But make sure and feel free to start discussions about this because not once have I ever heard anything mentioned about it, right? And, maybe it could apply to the vehicles you see on land. So what? Who cares? Does it really matter? Well, it's just that concept of it opens up a different option if it comes to travelling about, maybe by Dylan or someone else on the day or the day before or the day after Dylan went missing. In addition, what you can see further to the left-hand side is that burn barrel, the one which was tipped over where the remnants were left on the floor. We did do a video on that previous, as most of you will know. And then further left past that is Brenner's trailer, which we get to shortly. Much going on back there. Not from this angle, at least. But I just wanted to focus in on that bicycle first of all, right? So there you go, take it all in. And we move to this first shot, looking inside of this little shed. Now, camera quality and movement was a little bit too erratic. Not quite practical, so I just had to try and pause it at the right time. There is this stuck out on the side. What's that? Does it collect water or does it collect seeds? It's like a feeder for animals, for a horse. Does anyone know? Some rods stuck out the side as well. I mean, it's constructed fairly well, I guess. Wood in decent condition. Now, whilst we're looking inside of here, although we can't look in Brenner's trailer, which probably would have been of more interest, I was looking in this little shed thing. Just let me know if you see any cleaning products, any acid, anything that could be used to desecrate a body, okay? Just be on the lookout for that, you never know. So what can I see here? A few boxes, the box there with cans or sprays in. Is that WD-40? Maybe. Oil, possibly. Another little spray bottle down there. A couple of buckets as well. Some pipe tubing. Now this black pipe, where would that be going? Main line, something to do with the pivot, something to do with around the outskirt of the grain shed where it was being dug out. or is it completely different? Another squirty bottle there. Is there any bleach in here? I guess that's another question. There's a can, bottom left corner of the screen. So that's definitely Brenner's. It's a little bit dark though. And then there's some rope as well. And some chains, probably to do with the horse. Though, just very quickly, do you know that rope there? That looks like the type of rope where that supposed rumour or supposed event came from. Where some were saying that Robert Aviles and Chase Venstra were on site and captured Dylan and tied him up with rope, something like this, put him into a horse box trailer and wrapped it around his neck or something. Like, where does that stuff come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, quickly on the spot, what is worse? Hearing about stuff like that which turns out probably not to be true, or things similar to that turning out to definitely not be true, or listening in to these people coming out with this information but not actually giving a source of where it came from, then dragging it out, and then it turns out to be BS. I think the latter is a bit more annoying. But yeah, you just got some rope there. As said, if you see anything odd, make sure to leave a comment down below. You know, the way I envision it is, if there was anything here that could have been used to either take out Dylan or dispose of him, right? That's the primary aim of this. So I think we do have another image. This one's just slightly clearer looking inside. I don't know what that is. Is that cloth? Clothing? Can't quite make it out. It's greyish. But what I do see is Chiquita. What is Chiquita? Does anyone know? Is that to do with food? I mean, it's a giant banana. Why does Brenner have a giant banana in his box shed? What does that say? Country companion. So that's to do with horse. Is it horse feeder? Hay, straw, maybe? There's some like bottles or boxes there. HG fluid. What is HG fluid? It's on the left hand side on that bucket. Anything of interest there? I'm just going slower this time so people have time to take it all in, right? Not much going on there. Some more material there. Let's zoom in. There you go, that's more to the left-hand side. Couple of buckets. We got that Chiquita banana there, which is a bit odd. What does that say? Philube HG fluid. I don't know what that is. If anyone does, feel free to confirm it down below. We got a 2-gallon heavy-duty sprayer, as you see there. I mean, that looks like something you could be using if you're spraying on weeds that might be growing in the ground, possibly. Heavy-duty sprayer. Though, is a heavy-duty sprayer that could have been used as a pressure washer on a vehicle? Is that possible? Because some do end up looking the same, right? I think we've got some more horse feed there. Nutrients, it says. Essential nutrients. That bag on the left, okay? Looks like it's not really been opened. Yeah. I mean, it's also good because you can look at the brand of the stuff and maybe where it came from and then track it back to the location. Let's look at a different angle. Come on. There we go. So as you see on the left-hand side, you've got these saddles. Couple of them from the looks of it with the straps on. And what's that? A poncho or something? Interesting. I mean, yes, it's been confirmed and we know by now that Brenner had a horse. And it said in the video that 21 years of age at the time, the horse. So I don't know if that's young or old. I guess it's getting on, the age of it. I've heard Indiana say the horse's name was called Briscoe. Don't know if Indiana had a bit of a interview or conversation with that horse in the past, maybe. But yeah, just wanted to show you what it looked like inside as for this shed. And, you know, if you notice anything out of the ordinary or anything that could have been used, possibly, make sure to list it down below. It's just some of that rope or piping. Some of it could have, maybe one of it could be like one of those pulley ropes. Yeah. And now we move on. You know, I used to go past that little shed further to the left-hand side. You go past the burning barrel, and then you get to this spot here. And it's down here where Brenner's trailer was. That's why those boards are there, instead of the trailer being on ground level, because I don't think it would be practical. Maybe because it sinks into the ground. Keep it off from the ground, so maybe it doesn't flood if it rains, possibly. Looks a little bit messy in a way. Can't really see any time marks as described in that video, but yeah. Then, doesn't quite fit on the screen, but at the bottom middle of the screen you got like a chair or something which has been pulled out from a vehicle. Don't know why. And you got a lot of, what is all that in the background over there? Is that lots of wood? Does anyone know? There's a lot of it. It's like piled in cylinders almost, but there's like planks of wood. Now, what would that stuff have been used for? Was there any projects, anything in place? Does anyone know? Leave your thoughts down below and what it is from the looks of it. And then right here, I mean, it looks damaged, first of all. You can see that dent within it. So I don't know what caused that. I can't imagine it being Dylan though, because it's away from the road area and near to the trailer. What would that be used for? Filling it up with water? Something to do with the horses, possibly? Well, not horses, horse. Just about looking around, taking it all in, and there's some group of people over there just searching themselves. Some loose wood or planks or poles there. So it is a little bit messy, stuff scattered about, as you can see. And then to the left-hand side, it's a little bit clearer now. You got that chair, bottom right corner of the screen. What else do we have here? We've got a chair, which is most likely something Brenner sat on if he wasn't in his trailer all the time, just to relax. Buckets as well. And then you got that stuff back there, piled up. Fair amount of resources. It looks like you got some things stuck in the ground as well. Can you see it? Those two blue things. Now, they look very similar to the ones that were placed into the ground near Lucin Pond. You know that recent-ish video by Ty Corbin, who went down to Lucin Pond to take a look. And I paused it and said, what are those two blue rods stuck into the ground? Who put them there? Why? Well, they look very similar from the looks of it. So is that like a marker to say that police have visited and searched the area? You know, does anyone know? The ground itself, a few like little rocks, loose bits. Now, that there, what's this? That, I don't know, it looks like a solar panel. Solar power panel. A bit on top though, yeah. What's that doing now? Has it collapsed on itself? It looks like underneath there's some more solar panels. Was this Brenner's? Was it in use or broken? Does anyone know? Resting upon that blue container there. So what would this have been used for? Exactly. Does anyone know? Because it does look like a solar panel. Can't see any wires or cables though. Oh, though, there is actually some wires or cables here. Where does it lead to, though? Well, if it was linked with the trailer, it's obviously been disconnected. Because, yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, there's a couple of stuff going on. And then, what's that back there? What's that blue thing? I do feel, do you know that magnifying glass? It can be useful, but at the same time, when you're looking at singular objects spread about, it's more practical not using the magnifying glass. Does that make sense? Because then you can like really zoom in. Because what's that? Is that a propane tank? Maybe. It's stood upright. And then back there, you got that vehicle, which is not a backhoe. I can't remember what you call it, but it's used for flattening down stuff. Pretty big machinery when looking at it on screen here. That's pretty big. Now, who owns this vehicle? Does anyone know? Is it Ed Harshberger? Kurt Wadsworth? Is it a John Deere product? Maybe? So there's a couple of things going on screen. There's wires down there, that's solar panel. And then you got those like poles in the ground there. And then that's where where Brenner's trailer once stood. So not exactly big from like the way it's boarded out. Not very long either. Interesting. And then a bit more to the left, as we saw there with that stuff. What's that? Is that like an exhaust pipe or something from a truck, a vehicle? Looks like it. More buckets there. What is it with all these manky buckets? Huh. More trees, twigs collected there. When I looked at that there, it looked like a massive pair of underpants. You got that there once again. You got that there, as we saw. Is that... Oh, actually, hold on a minute. Is it the camera angle, what I was looking at? Let me just check. No, because there's two there. And then there's two there as well. Oh, wait, is it to do with water? Like a tap? Is that what it actually is? Yeah, it's probably got nothing to do with the police or like to do with an investigation. Yeah, it's just natural part of the place. Yeah, so scrap what I said earlier. Got a vehicle there without a wheel. And of course, you got that trailer. RV, do you call it an RV trailer? A mobile home? Fair-sized. Yeah, fair-sized. Now, is this supposedly the trailer where Brenner got the .22 rifle from? The one Brenner stole? Is this it? And as well, is this Ed Harshberger's trailer? Does anyone know? Just to reinforce it. I do remember Weezer saying yes, but then someone else said no. So it was kind of back and forth. Someone else said it was Don Haley's. Bit confusing. Just so we can like really reinforce it. Now, this trailer has appeared on past news articles. It showed the other side where it looked like the door was half kicked in or half hanging off, if you remember. So there's that. Though, from what I can remember, looking at footage, obviously later on than this footage, which was months ago, it's no longer there. Anyone else confirm that? Because I'm sure, looking at one of the heavy D flybys flying over, not the very first one, but the second one, which was months on, it did not show this on site. So who took it away and why? Because, if Brenner's trailer has already been taken away previously, as well as the grain truck, because the grain truck did not show up in this footage, did it? Not at all. So why was this trailer so delayed in being taken away? Was this taken away by the police? because it's involved in the case, taken to the labs for DNA? Or was it taken away by Ed Harshberger, who left the area? Or did Ed Harshberger disappear earlier on before this was taken away? Can anyone confirm this stuff? It's only small scale things, but it is helpful if it's tied up, these little loose ends, because it might just be cleared so there's no more confusion, or it could open up a new avenue, a new discussion point for how it could apply within the case somehow. Okay? So make sure to leave all your thoughts in the chat, but also the comment section, so other people have a chance to read them and try and understand it themselves. So yeah, a few things going on, which is interesting. Yeah. Now, we move on to this, right? This is additional footage, if you want to call it that. And this is right at the back of the grain shed. You see those shelves, like a bookshelf, if you want to call it that. Is there anything of interest? Down there, that's like a casing for beer, right? So it's probably Brenner's. Red box there, whatever that is. And then you got some stuff on the shelf. It is a bit blurry, the image quality, but you know, it's because the person was moving around quite quick, so you just had to pause it at the right time, okay? But what we're mainly looking at is this middle shelf. You see that like white box? It's what's next to it, that black object. It's still not clear enough, but it's the best photo I could get from the video as a still shot, right? That there is that there, okay? That white box thing next to the black object. That is that, okay? But the issue is, this photo on the left at the same exact area, looking down at the same exact spot, though this image here on screen is newer than this one, and newer than this one. This was by Glorindellen. That one was by Salty Pancakes. And then this one was by Justin Rounds. Okay? And as we said, when you look there, you got the white object on that middle shelf of the bookshelf, but that black object next to it is no longer there. So you're seeing it documented across multiple different forms of media coverage. So what is that black object? Because it looks like it's pushed on the shelf fairly well. It's not teetering on the edge. It's not going to fall off. So where did it go? Did it just simply land on the floor, or did someone take it away? It looks like it could be a bucket. So it could be inside of it, maybe. You never know. But like, this is the level of questioning and comparison, analysis and contrasting of footage, media, photos, videos, whatever it may be, and comparing them over time of an object, an area in place, and watching the changes, things being altered with over time. That's what's most interesting. Because it's like trying to understand, why was it once there and it no longer is? Is there a true reason? Was it natural? Was it by another human? You know, you can obviously leave your thoughts to what you think. There we go. This is looking, so if you're inside of the grain shed and then you're looking out of it, that's the angle. And it's on, if you used to go into the grain shed, it's on the left-hand side, right? So on this side, you got the hay on the ground, and then you've also got all those beer cans, what we saw wedged into the ground. So that's what I'm talking about. There are a fair few holes there, if you want to take that in mind. Like how we said about searching for bullet holes. Could any of these be bullet holes? I would say maybe not, because they all seem to be in a straight line almost. That, you know, you target practice maybe, but not on the spot when trying to take out Dylan, right? As well, if it was up close, you're not really going to miss your shot, right? But no, the main focus, also take in mind, the reason why it's so bright on the left-hand side is just because of the lighting image quality. You know, if you got a camera, well, maybe it doesn't apply to actual video cameras. Maybe if you're just using a mobile phone, and maybe if you got the contrast or the true color tone turned on, depending what device you have. If you go into a light, if you go into a dark then light area, or you start looking up at the sky, it can change the brightness of the screen. It just goes weird and wacky. But the main focus of this photo is this gate, which is propped up on the side. Is this the horse gate Justin Rounds was talking about, which Dylan supposedly backed into on the day, the 28th of May 2022, which annoyed Brenner? Yes, no, leave your thoughts. I mean, it looks bent. Don't know if it's supposed to be. Doesn't look too damaged, but maybe it was taken away from somewhere and propped up on the side near the grain shed because it needed to be repaired, possibly. And Brenner was annoyed because of it. Just let me know your thoughts. But there is another one on this side. On the, if you used to walk on the right hand side. On this side, you got, I think, that washing machine or tumble dryer, as well as that horse saddle, right? Looking on the outside, you got those big tractor tires. I can't see any gates opposite the grain shed. So, yeah. Portal either there. We got some loose hay. Actually, this is interesting. Why is this loose hay, loose straw right at the front? Is this post... no, how should I word this? Was this here before Dylan on the 28th trying to park the grain truck in the grain shed? Or was this hay caused afterwards? Does anyone know? With the hay being this close, it's as if, what, did Brenner try get the horse out of the grain shed at the time, or afterwards, or earlier, before? Looks like there's been a bit of disturbance going on. I can't really see any shit on the ground, just hay straw. Interesting. Just let me know your thoughts, because you can see the hay, you can see the straw on like the side of the shed where it's all collected, though with this being right in the middle. You know, the other thing to take in mind is when I've looked at previous images, do we still have it? This, like this image here, you do see a bit of the hay there, though not the true extent, because you're halfway in there. Kind of like that one, you can't see any hay straw. It's just from the camera angle. Though that stuff looks really dry and dusty, doesn't it? That looks really dry and dusty. Though this one, get off. This one doesn't look dry and dusty. It looks wetter. It looks a bit more moist. It looks more fresh. Interesting. So maybe this was before Pancake's visit. But then again, how many times did Pancakes visit the grain shed property? Would have been at least twice, I guess, from the different imagery footage what we've got. But yeah, the main focus on this side was that gate. Well, is it a gate? It looks like it's wedged into the ground, the pole or the bottom end of it. It's a fair structure. And is it just wedged in the ground? I don't know. I don't know if it opens or closes, but that's the only other like gate I could see. And it's in the correct angle. It's in the correct area, as if like Dylan was to be reversing into the shed, maybe going in at a slight angle, which knocked it maybe. Can't see really any damage done to it though. That one does look a little bit bent. I'm not sure where this was from. Was it from inside or outside? Maybe it was taken here because Brenner was annoyed and it needed repairing. But, you know, just images like these can help understand the area and just to see if there's been any disturbance relevant to the case, right? That's how it was in the Kenny Veach case. Always looking for disturbance of the land if anything's changed. only other point, what is that in the distance? Does anyone know? What's all that back there? So, we're at the grain shed property, right? What's those white things in the distance? And what are those black things? They look like vehicles to me. Whose are they, though? Is it the visitors that have come here or came here at the time to do this recording, maybe? Maybe Gloria and Dylan will know, she can answer. Though I did see some vehicles on site of the grain shed property, which I guess belong to some of the people visiting here, so I don't know what that is in the distance. It doesn't look like Dylan's farm because it looks too close as well, and I don't think it's quite the same direction. But if anyone knows, feel free to add it on. I've never really noticed it before from that angle. Maybe it's just my eyes, I just wasn't focusing on it at the time. But the structure of the grain shed in general does look fairly well, right? Somewhat durable. Yeah, I don't really see anything else, and then we're just back to here. Though, I've just noticed, is that a barcode on the side of that shed, the horse one? It does look like a barcode, but it's a little bit unclear. Not much else going on, is there? Can I see that barcode though? Just give me a second. No, it's probably just the angle. Oh, that's a shame. Never mind. But actually, that can as well. Is that can looks kind of similar to the ones Brenner had, which were in the ground. Interesting. Just a little observation there. And then as well, there's like that little notch there where you twist it and then that'll keep the door closed off this like little shed. So in case you're wondering what that was. Yeah, so that's about it for the photos. With all that being said, it's time to transition on to the second to last page of that discussion board, if you want to call it that, or forum. And to kick things off, October 17th, 2022, Grandma Bear decided to post another long paragraph. I'm so lucky. I'm so happy to be greeted with all this text to read out, of course. I mean, it might... At this point, it's almost like becoming some kind of weird punishment. It's like for every super chat, I have to read out a very long paragraph or something. Anyway, we'll read it, but if it's not that interesting or relevant, I'll probably skip over it. So if you do notice I fade in and out when talking, that's because it's not that interesting or important, right? Go on, Bear. I get really back and forth on it. I wasn't in agreement with the parents in total, but when one listens to this, I do understand. I don't think they are worried about prosecution so much as finding Dylan, so their focus is on pressing for answers from Brenner, searching for Dylan, etc. I mean, they want the person prosecuted, but what they really want most is to find their son. Yeah, and that's like how it is right now. That's basically the main goal, main focus, especially with Brenner being charged now in recent time, though weather is still the obstacle, if you want to call it that. Any locals in the area or nearby, feel free to leave your thoughts. Has the weather improved whatsoever, or is it still pretty bleak and rough? Leave your thoughts. The things she said and her ex mostly backed up does make the county appear to not be doing their job in some cases. Why they wouldn't do drones, honestly, letting Brenner clean the truck and grain shed, etc. was a big mistake in my opinion. I can understand where they are coming from. Wait, allowing Brenner to clean the truck and grain shed. Okay, grain shed spring cleaning, but cleaning what truck? The grain truck? No, I don't remember hearing or seeing anything about a truck being cleaned by Brenner. Not officially. And when she said they laughed in their faces, basically, I mean, this is not a good look for LE. Yeah, Candice Cooley did say in the past that the LE would laugh at her. Now, is that true? I don't know. You know? It's one of those things where sometimes it truly is the case. And other times, it might just be you misunderstanding someone. You know, those situations where you strongly believe that that person or that group is thinking like that or reacting like this, and then everyone else tells you, oh, you're just over-exaggerating, you know, you're just overthinking things. you know, sometimes it can be the case, but other times it's very manipulative, and it's like, you know, if you detect something or you sense something, it could well be the case, despite other people telling you you're wrong. Okay. Anyway, I do think quickly calling them out at the beginning didn't help the relationship, and you can understand why Ellie is as they are then, but that is ego and power and showing the family you can't do that. Do you know who were our type of garbage? If you call us out, then we aren't going to help you or work with you. Yeah, I mean, I assume Candice Cooley mainly Candice, was cooperative with the police at the start, but Candice Cooley said when things weren't going anywhere, that's when she became more vocal, right? So I don't believe it was immediate, though, you know, if the police had some kind of atmosphere or saw some presence when around Candice Cooley, then maybe they were a bit reluctant to what they say and share. Anything else? More evidence now isn't going to just magically fall out the sky. Well, evidence has been collected with time, though, you know, or put back in the case of the gun and keep up. That ship has sailed. The only thing that might change that or add evidence is finding Dylan, and he isn't trying to do that. They may be thinking someone will stumble across him one day and wait for a body, man. 5 months of agony, yeah, whatever. Here's the Heavy D one in shed. I don't see it posted. Oh yeah, bit more relevant, isn't it? This was the proper Heavy D interview inside the grain shed with Justin Candice. Yeah, I remember that. Well, they have info, and it is because of all this was found, because they found it was present when found. She repeats her words. Kimster. I'm not trying to put her down for saying too much. I think she is desperate to find her son. I haven't seen this one. Yep. I thought it would probably be a close duplicate of Nate Eaton's as to info, but it wasn't. True. Both are very well worth watching. Yeah, this is the thing. You get these like back-to-back interviews and you might think, oh, it's just the same old. But no, they give different angles, right? That's what's interesting. Like at one point on Doug's channel, when he did an interview with Candice Cooley, got some interesting information out of that. And then when it came to the East Idaho News Channel interview, it was terrible. It was really bland and empty and didn't even include any of the new recent information. Though, shortly after that, another interview was done, the latest one, and that was pretty good. Pretty hard-hitting, right? Oh, low battery, that's not good. Grandma Bear, it's not hard to understand and agree with a lot of what the mother is saying. The local sheriff's department is something like 2.5 hours away, but they are not understaffed and they refuse to help of neighbouring agencies, organisations and more. I think this happens a lot, and she says she just doesn't want anyone else to go through what they are, hence why they're doing the Dylan's legacy down the line. Anyhow, the drone was supplied by EquiSearch to Heavy D, and there was new info in these videos. Though money was raised in the first place to be able to pass the drone onto EquiSearch, right? And of course, with how it's been worded recently about the family being confident, parents being confident that they can find Dylan along with the new equipment, it's like, what new equipment is that? What we've already heard of, or even more new stuff? And how did they afford it? Was it because of withdrawing that 100k reward money and putting it into equipment, the cost of it? If that's really the case, okay, it's their own money to begin with, but why did they not withdraw it way back at the start and put that into actual equipment and finding Dylan? You know? I was able to get through half of it last night. Yeah, whatever. I know I wasn't necessarily responding to this, just post overall thing, thoughts, whatever. Okay. All no, I have thought Dylan's mom has pushed and criticised Ellie too much, but in the next breath, I get it. I go back and forth. You do definitely go back and forth. Linda is never first on news. Oh, Linda getting called out for being a bit slow on the news. Oh, naughty Linda. Why does Linda's name keep popping up all over the place? You got Linda this, Linda that. Linda must be a very popular name in this case. You know, we never know which Linda is which, right? And then we've got our own Linda in the chat. You know, sometimes she's a cushion, other times she's gushing. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, unrelated. She isn't even the second or the third quite often, and she doesn't cover all cases, but when she puts one up, she dials in and she gets it right. Yes, Linda gets it right. And she has a way of pointing to the very things that matter. Right. I'll be the first one to say in following a lot of crime, I can lose my thing where it hits a person hard and raw. That deep feeling of what, this is the problem, you don't want to be hit hard when looking at a case. Maybe if you're just watching it, that's fine. But you start covering the case or investigating it or just spreading awareness, you don't want to be too emotional because then it'll just be biased and you won't see things, you'll be blinded. What else? I felt it when Nate and Heavy D and Dylan's mom his cell phone was in a pond where Brenner placed himself at. But even so, listening to Linda really brings that in. Who the fuck is Linda? Still not explained who Linda is. And even next to his bed or normal places. What? Whatever. Oh, that's probably the Linda. Maybe. I swung back and forth. All you keep doing is swinging back and forth. Are you Tarzan or something? How did he go? Oh. No, I'm not even going to do that. I sound like a right prat. Kimster, I agree with you 100%. She has a gift for sure. I watched her video tonight and I was so impressed with the way she put everything together. There's a 100k reward and did say that Heavy D matched it. Yeah, he did. But obviously, because of recent news, what we've heard of, they've received it back, I assume, or they never put it in the first place officially. Yeah, reward money is now 200k. Well, it's not now. It's been withdrawn. It sounds like with Ellie too, she does not want to see another family go through that. Yeah, we saw that. No kidding, right? And they've refused help from tons of other agencies and search teams. My guess is it wouldn't work with Equisearch. It requires Ellie permission and cooperation. Yeah, Equisearch, who requires permission from the LE. Hence why Candice Cooley said it wasn't done sooner in the past. I can understand that. Equisearch can't get involved, invited by law enforcement, yeah. So I already couldn't wrap my head around the idea that the key fob was returned, and now the info is that the pistol was also returned, either the day before or after. Gun returned 1st of June, 2nd of June was the key fob returned, right? I mean, understandably, it's weird, isn't it? Returning items back. That normally doesn't happen. And then when you read that it was returned one day followed by the other, that's even more strange. Why not take both items back at the same time? Unless the person, such as Brenner, forgot, had a bad memory at the time. Anything else? Either way, it was within a day. Well, if possible, such makes even less sense to me. Anyway, the only way I'd agree that call from Kurt was a ruse is if Kurt was involved. So at this point, I doubt. Am I right to conclude that the info that the grandma call was from Dylan's farm was inaccurate? Was that the grain shed approaching that? My guess is Heavy D was willing to do it without Ellie cooperating or helping, and so Equisearch didn't have to break their rules, but still able to help. What's this one? Kurt was the story someone was holding him, wasn't it? Fucking hell, how do you word that? Shit wording that. Basically talk about the hostage situation, the supposed one, false call. Am I thinking of the right thing? Yes, you are. They think he was possibly after the reward and hoping a story would, that's the person you mean, to get the 20k reward money at the time. I do know locations were very confused in this case in the beginning, and even noted Mom tried to make it clear which place was which that Brenner stayed, which was Dylan's, etc., because it was very confusing. I remember even asking on here. Sounds like the call with Grandma was at the grain shed, wasn't it? Well, approaching the grain shed at the gate. So technically not Dylan's farm. No, it's not Dylan's farm. He doesn't own that. Dylan's farm is 5 miles away, southeast. Seems like in the beginning it was all portrayed as Dylan's or it all was not clear. I guess it also possible Mum and Dad didn't entirely know at this point. Someone, right, yeah. Not going to bother reading that. That's rubbish. Regina. Yeah. Oh, final comment. Yeah, my take on Kurt is that regardless of whether he was after the reward, he believed that the info was at least potentially credible, but it's my understanding that the mother now thinks it was a ruse, which doesn't make sense to me. Does it to you? As the grandma called, the info was that it was from Dylan's farm, but now that I've thought about it, I suppose it's to do with approaching the grain shed property at the gate. 6:51 a.m. Dylan made a call to the grandmother, successful, said he would call back afterwards, never did, but 6:58 a.m. after the call to the grandmother, tried calling Brenner, Dylan, was unsuccessful, and then so on followed after that. Okay. Well, at least we got through that. And we'll finish page 24, I guess, in the next video. Maybe that will be the final video on the Dylan Rounds case for now. But as I said, unless something else happens, you never know. Right, now we are back on the maps, casually searching about, unrelated to Dylan Rounds. If you are suddenly joining, welcome. If you want to hear about Dylan Rounds, the discussion on that, you want to look at and focus at Brenner, the analysis of Brenner's property, things in his possession, the little shed of Brenner's little items and horse-related stuff, as well as some additional photos of the grain shed. If you want to look at all of that, make sure to rewind to the beginning of this video to catch up on it, okay? So now, a couple of people last night getting a little bit excited, saying, oh, you know, should do some St. Patrick's Day stuff. Yeah, top of the morning. I say, exactly what I'm going to fucking do. Why not? And people said I've got to talk in some kind of Irish accent. Irish accent? Are you fucking kidding me? How could I possibly do that? Do I look like a leprechaun to you? I'm fucking 6'2". I don't think that will be working. No, mister. But you know, we'd have been St. Patrick's Day. We got the potatoes. Yes, potato pickers. Where are they little salty potato pickers that? Missed the pancakes. Pancakes followers. Top of the morning to you. I think it's time we look for him. Let's go. Potato Hill. That sounds great. Utah. How does one say Utah in an Irish accent? Asian potato. That sounds fantastic. Spotatoes. Spotatoes. This is very great. Sail is boiled. Oh yes, I love sailing on the ocean. Which one should we do? Let's do this one. Let's see what's inside. Asian potato. Rika. Wow, what is that? That looks amazing. I think I might turn into a bit of an Asian accent all of a sudden, but don't worry. Do not worry. It's all under control. I must do Asian accent because we're in an Asian restaurant to do with potatoes. What do we have here? We got the Thai curry, chicken and beef, pork. $1. Tofu, shrimp, $2. Pineapple green curry, pineapple red, kang curry, pineapple yellow, massaman curry. Thai noodles. Oh, I love Thai noodles. Thai chili Corbin. I hope Thai Corbin's here. Would you like some fucking noodles? Beef patsuli. Yeah, ni hao. Very good. We got the fresh thick rice noodles revel in Thai sweet basil sauce. Themselves in possessively around wafers. What is this? Is this some kind of domestic relationship issue between sweet Thai basil sauce, which is wrapping themselves possessively around the wafers? Oh, they're not going to let go. Oh, you little bastard. Get the fuck off me, you little leprechaun. I didn't know you wrapping your dirty little hands around my leg, man. Hey, fuck off. I'll beat you in the face. Yeah, don't worry. I'll beat you just like how I beat the potatoes across the field. You get a broccoli, scrambled egg, drunken style. Well, it's St. Patrick's Day, St. Paddy Day. Yeah, hopefully there's no IRA coming bombers, you little bastards. Beef pad thai, chicken pad sulu, fish fig rice noodles, level in sweet Thai sauce. Oh yes, I sound like such a gay Asian man. Oh, you like my little glasses? Yeah, they're glued to my face so they don't fall off into the chicken broccoli. They got chicken pad thai, house family pad sulu, house family pad thai, pork song, pad thai, shrimp pad thai, bing chilling, shrimp pad thai, Altai noodles. Long time no see. Fantastic. Tao lo mein. What the hell's that? Thai fried rice. Very nice fried rice. Good fried rice. Tao lao mein. Wait. To be honest, do you know what? Anyone in the chat right now, if you're from the southern part of America, you got a bit of a gullah voice like that, a southern accent. You go into a Chinese place, I think it'll be perfectly fine. You know, how you pronounce that stuff. All you have to say is, can I have a Thai lo mein? Yeah, I want to sell you zipper noodles, still fried rice, Thai curry, selection vegetables, chicken, and beef, pineapple massaman, cow lao mein, pineapple pinang, cow lao mein, man. It's fantastic. What do we have in here? Oh, it's really quiet. Fuck me, what the fuck is that? We got a giant fork and a giant spoon. How fucking small do you think I am? I'm not a leprechaun. You can give me a full-size spoon and fork and it will not look like that size. Maybe
Maybe for Indiana. Indiana, I know you're there. Indiana. That's exactly what those cutlery looks like when it's in your hands. Isn't that right? They look so massive. Yes, and look at that, Indiana. We got some wooden stools, wooden chairs to sit on, or to bend over, depending on what your preference is. There you go. And we got a little trophy at the top. And that must be for the salty Karen potato picker farmers. Yeah, top of the morning. What the fuck is this? We got worms. Oh god, looks like it needs. I think it needs investigating. I'm sure I saw something move on the plate. Probably not quite cooked, but just one of those things. We got a sweet sour chicken chow mein, whatever the start is. A lot of sauce, very saucy. But is someone like Wes Stump. Yes, Wes Stump. He's talking quite a lot recently. He sounds like an expert. But I'm sure he can use his moustache. Oh, what a shame. He's no longer present. I wonder where it ended up. I hope it didn't end up in the pile of the noodles. That would be not great to be eating, would it? What's this? Why have you got a little beach resort umbrella on the food? The hell? The hell's this? Oh, very colourful, very fresh, very nice, very wet, very moist, Maria. I mean, it's alright. It's okay. It'll do. But I don't know what those chunky things are. Ew. What an assortment of fucking food there, mate. What do we have here? We got some... Is that some scallops? We got some fucking mushrooms. That's exactly what I want. There's some dry rice. Just like my humour. Check-in post. Get one cream cheese wonton free. Wonton! You got the rolls. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my god, they're still attached with the little tails. Little tiddly tails. It's great. Fantastic. All kinds of food popping up. There we go. Asian potato. Very great. Now, is there anything else to take a look at before we move on? What about if I type in pack and go? Because, that user on YouTube, pack and go. Do you imagine it came up with something? Pack and wrap. Oh, I see. That's your side business, isn't it? Pack and go. You say you're not turning up to the premieres. I know exactly why, because you're too busy packing and wrapping. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that right, Tara? Tara, pack and wrap. God, what is this? What is this? Lots of paper bags, a lot of parcels, but I wonder if anyone's doing any parcel bombings recently. Put a few wires on, attach it, put a little timer on. Oh, I'm such a little bastard. But that's just what we are. Merry and bride. Oh, what's going on? Your little leprechauns dressing up as Santas. Or something like that. Oh my god, it looks so generic. A little gift bags, but we don't know what's inside of them. Why the hell does that look like a McDonald's Happy Meal box? Trying to change the brand? Take over? Oh my god. What the hell's this? Oh my god, I thought... It's a bit rough saying, but I thought this was like some Dylan Rounds photo then when I saw those sunflowers. I thought, oh god. But no, it's not. It's not related. Oh no. No, Vaundis. What are you doing with your witch's broomstick? Must have left it behind when they tucked the tails in between the legs as they ran off. Also, I forgot the cat milk as well. What a shame. Yeah, so we got Best Witches. Oh, Best Witches. Is that the award you won, Cleo, for being the best witch? Anything else? Wrapping paper. A lot of it. Seriously, a lot. But we've got some Chinese little Asian-style decorations. Fantastic. Lovely. Some bags or something which you'd put over someone's head when you're kidnapping them, I think. That there, whatever. Boring. Yeah, some little more bits and bobs. Oh my god. Shack lady, I think I found a pair of your teeth found in this jar. Kurt Wadsworth. Oh my god, is Kurt Wadsworth talking to me?
I'm sure that jar is moving slightly. I can see some teeth trickling away. What are you doing now? What else do we have? Oh my god, we've got M&Ms, just like the people in the chat recently that were eating them. And we've got some popcorn. Oh my god, Maria, the popcorn is, I don't know what flavour it is, but it's got a red theme to it. Oh, it must be themed around that monthly period of popcorn popping about. Oh, it soaked it all up as well. Wes will be very proud. And we got some little gummy worms. So if you want to put some wiggly worms in your mouth, very chewy, you can have them. Anything else? I mean, like, I'm advertising Pack and Go at the moment, so she should be very grateful. Oh, no, the fucking pumpkin is back, of course. The bloody pumpkin pickers. Potato pumpkin pickers. A bit of a tongue twister that you say it a few times. Well, actually, no, if you say it a few times, you'd probably say something else and then you'd be accused of being a racist or something. Anyway. Yeah. We've got the parcels there, the sheets. Gee, thanks. We don't need an elf on the shelf. We got a fucking robin. Why a fucking robin has got legs like that? I've never seen a bird like that before. Maybe it's all new to me. That puts the whole difference of elf on a shelf to a whole new level. Got some little ducks right there. It's great. But have you seen a lark of potatoes? And that's it for the fight. That's it. What a shame. I'm really sad. Oh no. What am I going to do? Well. Right, so I think that rounds it all up. I think we even did the little special event. To be honest, I hope it is Patrick's Day today. I think it is. If it isn't, I'm going to look like an idiot, but oh well. One of those things, do things all over the place, confuse my man. But yeah, technically, I think there is at least one more video to do on Dylan Rounds just to get that one page completed, number 24. I mean, if it's just on that, the video probably like 10 minutes long or something, but maybe if it was something like that, then I can incorporate it as like a channel update video as well, a discussion there. So it just fills it out a bit and provides a little bit more context to the situation, okay? Will anything happen next? Will there be any breaking news, any new developments, any new people coming on in, any new drama which will trigger everything all over again at the point of where I'm just about to walk away from the case and I'm dragged back? I don't know. Anything can happen. But if there is breaking news, then it will be covered, of course, whether it be Dylan Rounds or Kenny Veach, right? So see what happens next. Time will tell. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any additional comments, any questions or anything else, list it down below in the comments section and make sure to check out my previous video too. Good night and goodbye for now.